No, it ain't. It ain't crooked. It's your head that's crooked.
Other way. Bro, you're going to have the people slanted.
No, I ain't. You good.
You done turned it on.
I told you that. Go ahead.
I'm getting another goddamn producer next season.
And I'm gonna tell you
Wait
something.
the next season, bro.
And you gonna go
Episode
down like
23.
you gonna go down like crazy too.
This episode 23. Play that thing 3 times. Ooh! That thing up, boy. I can't wait, man. I can't wait. I can't wait. I can't wait. This thing's so tall. There we go. Man. Man, that's my... Oh, man. That's my #1 fan. That's my oldest daughter, Ashley. She gonna be there. But of course.
It ain't over.
Man, play that thing again, man.
It ain't
Play
over.
it again.
It ain't over. It ain't over.
It ain't over. Hey! Man, that thing's so hot. Man.
You locked on this.
Oh, shoot. Man, ooh. Hey, man, don't mess it up.
You gotta mix it.
Don't go mixing, man. Don't mix nothing, bro. Don't go mixing nothing. You hear that thing? Good evening, good evening, good evening. This is Joaquin Thompson with the Daily Bread Radio Show. And we're having some technical difficulties. I think we got one of our cameras. Camera 1 is kind of tilted. So I'm having my producer check that out and yeah, get that down a little bit. That's much better. But glad to have you all here again. Very exciting to, yeah, there you go. There you go. There you go. Glad to have everyone join again. Super excited. Got a lot of great topics. Right off the bat, let's put the number in the chat because a lot of the feedback that I've been getting recently is like, I ain't know the number. You ain't said the number. I wanted to call in, so we're gonna put the number in and pin it. Have some listeners that reached out to me recently that wanted to come onto the show. Said that they really had something that they want to share with the Daily Bread audience. And the thing about feedback is this: whenever you're getting feedback, like we've talked about on all of the shows, and this is episode 23, like Jordan, not the 4 or 5. This is the original, like the 2, 3, the original Jordan. So 23 episodes down, and we well on our way to 1,000. So good things happening in our space. But one of the things I want to talk about today, or got 4 topics today, 4 or 5 topics, depending on time and you know how many people call in. The call-in number is 678-381-1973, 678-381-1973, so you can call in at any time. And a couple of topics we're going to talk about today is really what's going on in the world. I mean, so I'm going to look at it from a sports standpoint, because one of the things that happened this week, and for some people, I don't want things like this to come onto our radar and just go over our head like, oh, okay. I didn't really get that, but I really want us to take some time to sit back and think through some of these processes, because some of the things that you see happening in the world, you can always relate them back to your personal finance. So one of the big things that happened over the last week, which I think was inspirational. It was like we talked about last week with Sambo, right? These were 2 Sambos, not 1, 2 Sambos that got together, and they pulled something off, and they pulled it off so slick that I don't think a lot of people realize what happened. And so we're going to talk about that. That's topic number 1. And that was the Dwayne Wade trade to Cleveland. the Dwayne Wade trade to Cleveland from the Chicago Bulls. So we're going to talk about that, and I'm going to give you a little insight on what I seen in that process and what I saw, how it went down. The other topic that we're going to talk about is the need to start planning now for 2018. The need to, okay, we got a caller. Caller, this is Joaquin with the Daily Bread Radio Show. What's your name and where you calling from?
It's Lanita Johnson.
Lanita, how you doing today?
I'm good. How are you?
Doing great. And I think you called in just in time. I was going over some of the topics we're going to cover today, but I only got through topic number one. But what we're going to do is Lanita reached out to me, and one of the things that I've been talking about on this show is really not about how many, right? It's really about how many we touch, right? So one of the things I've been talking about on the show is that we need to make sure that we create a platform where people can reach out. So one of my good friends from high school is also a friend with Lanita, and Lanita was sharing something with him, and one of the things that he said, his response was, you need to reach out to the Daily Bread Radio Show because I think that would be a good platform for you to share your story. So Lanita reached out to me, and I told her that she was more than welcome to call in today. So we'll start off with Lanita, and Lanita, welcome to the show. How you doing today?
Thank you. I'm good. Thank you. How are you?
Doing excellent. And want to make sure, can the listening audience, can you all hear Lanita? So if you can, just give me a little thumbs up, and so that way we'll know, because I know we've had guests on before, and they could hear me, but they couldn't hear our guests. So if you can hear our guests, give me a little thumbs up on the screen, because I know we have some people that are already on. So Lanita, if you could just go ahead and I guess you could start wherever you want to start with your testimony, and just kind of share with us what's been on your mind, what's been on your heart, and just just kind of how you felt the need that you wanted to share with the listening audience about your testimony. So I'm gonna leave it open, and then I'll ask some other probing questions as we go along. But I wanted to just give you the opportunity to go ahead and share your story.
Okay. About a year ago, which was last year, I had surgery. I got sick. I didn't know how sick I was. And I went into a deep coma. My sugar was 1,316. Now, normally people with that sugar don't live.
Right. That's
She told
true.
my parents, your daughter's not going to make it through the night. She's real sick. Kidney, internal organs shut down, everything. But I went to a place in that coma that I had never been. I saw my grandfather, who's been dead 20 years, way before I was born. Saw my mother's parents, and they kept telling me, you can't come yet, you can't come yet. And I'm like, why can't I come? You can't come. You have to go back and take care of your mother. You have to take care of your father and do God's work, because you're not done yet. And then my daughter said I was fighting, because when I woke up, finally, my hands were tied. And I'm like, I got to stay. I don't want to go. And God came to me and said, you're my child. I need you to do what I designed you to do. I need you to go back. So as I came out of the coma, and I'm asking questions, what happened to me? And they're like, you don't know what happened? And I'm like, no, I don't. Can you tell me? And they proceeded, the nurses started to tell me, you were sick because you were non-responsive. You didn't hear us. Your kids came in. Your mom and dad came in. You remember any of that? I'm like, no. So did they ask me, who's my daughter, who are you saying I don't want to go back to? And I'm looking at her like, huh? What? She was like, you were steady saying I don't want to go back. That allowed me to know as I progressed of getting better that I have work to do for God, regardless of what happened. So I went through that little scenario. I came back, got strong, started taking care of Mommy, just like he asked. Mommy got sick December 19th of this year. Mommy decided she was going to talk to us, especially me. She was like, baby, I'm ready to go. I live my life. I need you to do what you need to do and be strong. Me being a baby, I didn't understand. I'm like, Mom, you're not going nowhere. Because I'm thinking parents live forever. They're not going to ever go anywhere. My mom passed away. I lost it. it's like I didn't talk to nobody. I didn't want to talk to nobody. I stayed in the house. I didn't do anything. God plainly told me this is not what I designed for you to do. I need you to give this testimony that I brought you through. Give it. Talk to people because people are scared. They're broken. And they don't understand if they go out and tell people this. They're like, oh, I don't believe you. Yes, it happened.
Okay.
And I'm proof that it happened.
So share with the audience, because you were sharing with me, after going through such a catastrophic health challenge, and then your mom passing away, kind of share with us from a financial standpoint what type of things took place.
I almost lost my mind for one, but I held on to that because I had my faith. But I lost my house. I did. I lost a car. It's like I lost everything. Financially, I lost everything. But at the end of the day, he brought me to a place where I only could have his attention. Not my friends, not my family, not daddy. His attention. God wanted my attention. So he broke me down. And he literally broke me to the point where, okay, I'm going to break you here, and I'm going to hold you for a minute, and I'm going to see what you're going to do with this. I'm going to see how you're going to maneuver through this because I need your attention. I don't want nobody else in your limelight. I don't want nobody else in your view. I need your attention. So he broke me down. He literally did. I'm in a little room. It's a room for rent. I'm not too ashamed to say it. I'm comfortable. I am, but it's nothing like your own. But he had to break me in order for me to understand who he is and who I belong to. Wow. So that's where I'm at right now.
Wow.
And peace, I have it. Because before I didn't have peace. My mind was everywhere.
So tell us a little bit about that because, and I'm not smiling at your circumstance. I'm smiling because everything that you're sharing with us are things that we've talked about on the show, and that's really what this show is about, is getting to a place of peace where you can deal with pretty much everything, and everything ties back into your personal financial situation. But share with us, like, even though you're in a one bedroom and you lost your house, you lost the car, you went through this, medical, challenge, your mother passing away, but now God has put you in a position where you're solely focused on him, but now you have peace. So kind of walk us through and talk to us about what peace means, or having peace.
Okay. Having peace is something that normally would bother you. It doesn't. You just say, God, if it's your will, it shall be done. And you keep going. You don't dwell on it. You don't hold it. Because that's what I was doing. You don't hold it within. It's a lot of people that don't know how to deal with brokenness and having peace because they feel like, well, if I share this with somebody, they're going to think something's wrong with me, and I'm just going to keep it in. You can't keep it in because it will destroy your inner being as a person. You have to let it go, give it to God, and just keep going because he has everything, and he will give you that peace. When you can't sleep, because I had those nights where I could not sleep, I'm like, Lord, just cover me, touch my forehead, allow me to sleep. And it's just like you floating on air because it's peace within your spirit and your soul, and you just like, okay, I can do this. Like with me, my job, I have a job now, but when my mom passed, I had a job of 6 years. It pushed me to the limit. I couldn't take no more. I was like, you know what, I'm done. I walked out on faith. I left. The next day, I got the job where I am now. Now I'm waiting on another job, a door to open for me. So it's all about what you want and your being as a person to have that peace. Yes. Okay. That grace is awesome, but that peace, it just takes over. Trust me, it does.
Hey, that's a good thing. That's a good thing, Juanita. And one of the things about the Daily Bread Radio Show is I think the good thing about being able to reflect and to share, because the thing that you and I talked about was a lot of times people, they listen to my show live on Facebook Live, or they try to catch it, on Thursdays, but a lot of times people go back and they listen after the show is aired. So the good thing about this is this platform and this medium that we've created in the form of the Daily Bread Radio Show is going out touching a lot of people. And the reason I wanted to have you to call in, I wanted you to be more like a testimonial to all of the stuff that we're doing here, so that way people, and me included, and my producer, and everybody that's been supporting the Daily Bread Radio Show, they can go away and know that the reason that God created this platform was for us to go out and touch people and to help people and to pour into people, and then at the same time be able to reciprocate and have a platform where people could call in and feel like they're in a safe environment. They can share their story as well, because you never know how your story reaches a person at a certain time, and it can help somebody else. So I know that was something that when you were sharing with Michael, and that was the thing that was kind of so, I guess you would say, perplexing to me, was the fact, and confirming to me, is, I mean, me and Michael, we're friends from 35 years ago, right? So, and me and Mike haven't talked recently. We might hit each other on Facebook, the whole, you know, happy birthday, or hey, what's going on, but nothing major. But the fact that you were having a conversation with him, and then he in turn said, hey, you know what? You need to check out the Daily Bread Radio Show. So that says to me that not only is Michael listening or other people are listening, but the fact that one of the things that came into his spirit and into his mind was that you need to reach out to the Daily Bread Radio Show. Oh, I know exactly who you need to talk to. So that's just confirmation for me that what we're doing here, we're doing the right thing, we're doing it for the right reason, and we're having fun with it, and we're helping people at the same time. And this is our ministry. And not to cut you off, you know, this is our ministry, because that's one of the things that I kind of shied away from or ran away from. Like, hey, I'm not a minister because I've still got stuff that I'm dealing with in my life. I'm not perfect, or what have you. But what I've learned over time in speaking with people that are in that space is that you don't have to be in a pulpit to minister to people. So I feel like personal finance and this platform, this is definitely my ministry, and I'm here to serve. That's really my motto of the Daily Bread Radio Show. I'm here to serve. That's it. I'm not here to do all of the other shenanigans. And I know that I'm doing everything that I'm doing is on purpose because it feels right. You know, it just feels right. Okay. Well, Lonita, we really appreciate you, calling in. I would definitely encourage you to, stay faithful. Know that you're just going through a process, and when you come through the process, call back in and let us know about that new job, that new place, the new things, because we want you to be able to continue your testimony. So that way people will know you may go through that valley, but the valley is also going to take you to a mountaintop. So a lot of times we don't want to go in the valley. We don't want to deal with the valley. We just want to stay on mountaintops. But mountains not made that way. You don't go from mountaintop to mountaintop. You got to go through a valley. So now we're going to, thank you, Lonita. We have to take a commercial break, but definitely stay tuned. We got some very intriguing and informative topics that we're going to be going over tonight. And again, thank you for calling in and sharing your testimony with us.
You're welcome.
We appreciate it. Have a great evening.
You too.
Okay.
The Alliance Covenant of Churches presents its 2017 Holy Convocation, October the 9th through the 15th, under our awesome presiding prelate, Apostle Willie P. Howard, with special guests, Overseer B.J. Jefferson, Elder Trenton Howard, Bishop Alton Benford, Senior Pastor Maxine Benford, Prophet Walter Wilkins, Bishop Andrew Holliday, also featuring our second presiding prelate, Bishop K.M. Howard, and special guests from Avalon Financial Services, the president, Candy Yu. You don't want to miss this awesome celebration. Simply go to the web at thealliancecoc.org or give us a call at 770-203-6649. That's 770-203-6649. And just remember, at the Alliance Covenant of Churches, we believe in bringing support to those who serve.
Some combinations were just meant to go together. Burger and fries, washer and dryer, online and dating. At State Farm, there's another combination meant to go together. Home and auto, as in combining your home and auto insurance with one agent, which leads to another combination, saving dollars Farm agent is here to help life go right. Combine home and auto and see how much you can save. Call State Farm agent Stephanie K. Wallace in Athens, Georgia at 706-549-8730.
Okay, we're back, and those are some excellent commercials. So I know we got some people in the listening audience, and we're running those specials. This month you can get 10 30-second spots for $100. 10 30-second spots. So you can imagine when you're listening to people on Facebook Live, and even when they come back in, just think, when each time that somebody replays this, you could be playing your 30-second spot. So whatever type of business that you're in, and we're big proponents of business creation, business formation, business sustainability, and making sure that our listening audience also take advantage of that. So that's a huge promotion. We're going into October. We're going to be doing that for October as well. So October is coming. You got the holidays. So whatever your business is, if you're into insurance, landscaping, beauty, pageants, whatever you into, a 30-second spot can go a long way, because you never know, that one person may hear your ad and become a customer. And once they become a customer, they have the opportunity to become a lifelong customer. So we definitely have some listeners that want to take advantage of that, and we're moving to that. I know we have some people to join. Michael Wright, we appreciate you joining. I seen Sheila coming on, Sheila Goodrum, my daughter Ashley, and my awesome, lovely wife, The Rock, as we call her, TT, a.k.a. TT. Love you, girl. So that's Tanya Thompson. So the first topic we talked about, I said I was going to talk about before Lonita came on. But before I go any further, definitely want to thank Lonita for coming on, because just think about how powerful that is when we're going through things and we know we kind of start to second guess ourselves, and we get into a certain, what I call a dark place. And a lot of times the only person that we're talking to is ourselves, because we're listening to everything that's in between here, but we're not reaching out to people, because we don't want to reach out to people because the way we think they're going to judge us. And the funny thing I was thinking about after talking to Lonita, when she said that she was going to call in, was this. It's funny how when things are going good, everybody has all these friends that they talk about. Like, oh, I got 1,000 Facebook friends, and I got 1 million followers, and I got this and that. But it seems like when we start to have what I call cloudy days, or dark days, or things come on our radar, a lot of times we don't have nobody to share with. So that's just something to think about. So when you running around saying how many friends you got, just don't use that term loosely as far as friends, because friends is non-judgmental, unconditional. They don't care how you come. You come with your you come with your hat on, or your pants too short, or whatever, and your friend is just gonna laugh with you and help encourage you, to help you get back into a better space. So definitely appreciate her coming on and sharing her testimony, and definitely. And she's from where? Duval. So definitely got to support the home team. But the second topic that I want to talk about: start planning and taking action on your dreams in 2018. Start planning and taking action on your dreams in 2018. Look, that just has a nice ring to it, right? Start planning now. Start planning now. Because January is going to come. Hopefully, we'll all be here and nothing catastrophic happens, or none of us get called home. But if we're here, start planning now on your dreams for 2018. Start planning now. Because if you want to change some things, start planning now. Don't wait for 18. So we're going to talk some more about that, but that's the topic. The third thing I wanted to talk about was interest. Because interest is something that I don't think a lot of people understand how interest works, and the inner workings of interest, and how slick, and I said slick, I didn't bite my tongue, I didn't stutter, slick, how slick these financial companies and corporations are when it comes to interest. So I'm going to spend a little time with interest, and then we're going to talk about, the last thing I want to talk about was, if we have time, is the cost of capital. And that's a financial term, has to do with how much it costs for, like, borrowing money if you're trying to do something in 18, building a dream, things of that nature. So let's start off with this first topic, because this one, to me, was a power move, and I want you all to make sure that you have this conversation with some of your friends and other members, family members, associates, whomever, and just bring this topic up, especially for the young ladies, because I think young ladies, sometimes we might bypass them when it comes to sports, because a lot of times it's the husbands and the boyfriends and the brothers and looking at sports, but they know LeBron James. I mean, women know LeBron James, and they know Dwayne Wade and Steph Curry and all these kind of guys, because they're athletic as well. So, but here's the thing that happened over the last week, and I want you all to check out how this went down. About a week ago, little news line, just like you're looking at me on Facebook Live, I'm looking at ESPN, and a little line came along the bottom of the screen, because they run the ticker the whole time, because they running the show on the main screen, but at the bottom of the screen is a little ticker. A little ticker came across the screen, and it said, trade talks are in the works for Dwayne Wade. And that's all it said. More to come. You know how they put the T's on there. Trade talks. So that was like last Wednesday or Thursday. So I'm like, oh, okay. So now they trying to work out something. Then Friday when the news broke, when I was looking at it on ESPN, the guy said, the announcer, he said, look, Dwayne Wade, there's intense talks about Dwayne Wade being traded to the Cleveland Cavaliers, but there's a problem. And in order for this deal to go through, Dwayne Wade would have to pay back listen to this number, $8 million of his contract. He would have to give the Chicago Bulls and buy out his contract for $8 million. So I said, wow, okay. He got to give the Chicago Bulls, the organization, $8 million, and they have to agree to release him, to make him a free agent, in order for him to sign. He can sign with anybody once he becomes a free agent, but for him to sign with Cleveland Cavaliers. That was Friday night when I heard that story. So I started thinking about it over the weekend. I said, you know who's behind this? LeBron James. LeBron James, and I want you all to recognize this, LeBron James is playing owner as a player. Now, he's a player in the NBA, but one of the things about LeBron James is starting to think and act and take steps like an owner. Because if you reverse it, if a team wanted Dwayne Wade, what they would do is contact the Chicago Bulls, let them know they're interested in Dwayne Wade in a trade. That team at that point would more than likely have to put up the money, or they would pay that buyout. It wouldn't come from Dwayne Wade. They would pay the buyout so that way they could get Dwayne Wade to their team. Now, LeBron James, he's sitting down, he's thinking. LeBron James is like Sambo. We talked about Sambo last week. LeBron James is sitting at home. He said, you know what? This is my homie, too. This ain't just no regular, this ain't no regular guy. This is my homie. So while LeBron James is sitting at home, he said, you know what? Let me call D. Wade. He calls up D. Wade. Hey, check this out, man. Why don't you come over here with me? And so D. Wade said, well, you know I got that $8 million buyout clause in my contract. What LeBron James say? Man, don't worry about no $8 million. He said, I'll give you $8 million. You come over here with me. We'll make that money. We'll figure it out on the back end. Because Cleveland's going to give you $23 million too. So when they give you your $23 million, you get your guaranteed signing bonus. You just get that back to me. Okay, that sounds like a plan. So fast forward, Sunday comes up. Sunday comes. Then the news story on Sunday is Dwayne Wade pays the Chicago Bulls $8 million to buy out his contract. Now let's stop there for a moment and see how this comes into our world on the Daily Bread radio show. In order for a player, now think about this, the backdrop of this, what makes it significant is this, and I've done some research in this area, so like I always say, you go out and you test me. Go out and do your own research. 78%, somewhere between 75 and 78% of all players in the NBA within the first 2 years of them being out of the league are insolvent. And another word for insolvent is they don't have any money or they are broke within 24 months of leaving the NBA. You can do your research on that. Go back out there and take a look at it. Between 75 and 78%. So that's like that's almost 8 out of 10 players, right, are insolvent within 2 months. Now here's the second thing that makes this powerful. The majority of the players that are in the NBA, how many control $8 million? They have disposable, listen to this, disposable, I ain't talking about $8 million where it's going to be a struggle, like I'm going to give you $8 million and then, it's going to get tight. Like we ain't going to have money for the mortgage and the cars. No, I'm going to give you $8 million, like put this on my debit card. I'm going to give you that kind of $8 million. It's not a lot of players. You hear about all these big contracts. They signed for $30 million. He signed for $25 million. But a lot of people in the NBA, players, I would challenge you to find a number of players that would have that kind of money that they can just move around in a short period of time, right? $8 million is not a little bit of money. That's a lot of money, okay? Now, the third thing is this. How many people will have the influence? Because the Chicago Bulls, so don't get it twisted, the Chicago Bulls organization, Dwayne Wade, LeBron James, and the Cleveland Cavaliers were all in on this deal. They had to all agree to it. You don't just come up out of, if you go back a year ago, Dwayne Wade was in Miami, and he got upset because Miami wouldn't give him a max contract because they said that they didn't think he was valuable enough. Dwayne Wade said, I'm going home to Chicago to retire. I will retire in Chicago. They had a big homecoming. They comparing him to Jordan. Now, a year later, one season. He only played one season in Chicago. One season later, he done got with his homie and said, hey, man, why don't we do this deal? The reason it's so important to me is this. We need to put ourselves in the same positions. We need to put ourselves in the same position. May not be 8 million, might be 8,000, might be 80,000. So I see some of my friends are lifelong friends. Brian Armstrong. I've been knowing Brian Armstrong since he was this big, since he was probably like 4. He's probably like 3 or 2. Because when I met his family, I was 5, and he's younger than me. So let's just say he was a top, right? This is like me reaching out to Brian and saying, hey, Brian, look, check this out. Why don't you come up to Atlanta and we do this deal? I'm doing the Daily Bread radio show, and I'm going to sign a contract with, Verizon, and I need $80,000 to get this deal done, and I want to bring you in. And he says, okay, you just give me $80,000, and I'll give it back to you when we do the deal. But we got to get ourselves in a strong financial position in order to take advantage of opportunities like that. So that was Sunday. You move into Monday. Monday, they made the announcement. The Bulls, they received their $8 million. And on Wednesday, Dwayne Wade will be a free agent. And this is how they spend it. This is how they spun it on ESPN. They said once Wednesday comes, Dwayne Wade would be a free agent. He can go to any team in the NBA. But he's not going to any team in the NBA. He's going with his homie, LeBron James. He becomes a free agent on Wednesday, which was yesterday. As soon as he became a free agent, he signed with the Cleveland Cavaliers. Case closed. Done deal. That's the power. That's the power of personal finance. So just wanted to share that with you all. I think it's very important. Definitely, if you got any comments on that, if it makes sense, don't make sense, you can give me the thumbs up, or you can call into the radio show. Call into the studio, 678-381-1973. I would love to hear from you all, 678-381-1973. And those are the type of things that we're moving towards as you move into those dreams in 2018. So moving into the next topic, start planning and taking action on your dreams for 2018, because it's time. I mean, right now, it's time for us to stop. I don't even know the word to use. I don't know if it's procrastination. I don't know if it's fear. It's time for us to just stop it, though. leave it in 2017. Leave it in 2017. Go ahead and make a commitment that you're going to start your legacy in 2018. Start dreaming. I brought the vision board last week. Create you a vision board. Create you some goals. Write them down. Keep God first. And start taking some action. Because all that talking, I love to read. I mean, I got a house full of books. I read a number of books. Every week, wherever I go, I got a book with me. At least 2, 3 books. I don't care if I'm going to a barbershop. Anywhere that I'm going that I know I'm going to have to spend some time there, I'm reading a book. But guess what? We got to be taking action. Because action is what makes things happen. Just like when you go in the kitchen to cook something, you can be like, oh, I want omelet, I want this. It ain't going to happen until you start taking some action. Until you start putting some heat to some pans. You start preparing some food. That's when things start happening. So in your financial life, it's the same thing. You know, let's start acting on these dreams. Let's stop making our dreams so small that we make them small enough that we can reach them. Like, I don't want $1 million is too far. So I just want 10,000. No, I want $1 million. No, matter of fact, I want 10 million. Matter of fact, I want 100 million. And you just keep going. You keep interrogating the universe so that way you can get to where you want to go. Or if money's not your thing, if you want something, if you want to, a trip to paradise, if you want to go to Bora Bora, whatever you want to do, start taking some action. Because that's what we're going to be doing here on the Daily Bread Radio Show. We got a lot of things that are in the works. So we're taking some actions, and it's just going to help to bless everybody in our community. And I'm glad we got a lot of listeners, a lot of people watching us on Facebook Live, a lot of people, like I said, hit me up off the air. Everywhere I go now, if I go to Florida, went to frat meet the other day, so I'm reclaiming myself. I need to get more active, and like the bruh said, I need to get financial. So I ain't scared to say it. I just said it openly. I need to get financial. So if you know some bruhs and the bruhs want to haze me about that, that's fine, but I'll be financial next month. So I got that on my radar, and that's just for me. I'm taking care of that, but it ain't no shame to that. We all fall short of being perfect. So for me, that's a big milestone for me. I'm gonna get in, and even thinking about, I might need to just go on and be a life member. Stop with this every year thing and just go on and pay my life member dues and be a life member, because I'm in for life. So it just makes sense. But Chuck Grover, I appreciate you joining, man. I know you've been sending a lot of. Look at this guy. He want to be a bruh. Sheila, Kimmy, this dude over here want to be a bruh. But we'll talk about that off there. Anyway, Chuck Grover, I appreciate you, man, because I know you've been sending me a lot of prayers and thoughts on the show and on my existence, on my life, and I appreciate you for that, man. The next topic I want to talk about is interest. Let's talk a little bit about interest, because we got a little time left. If you want to call in, give us a call, 678-381-1973. 678-381-1973. Give me a call. Let me know what your thoughts, if anything's on your mind. If you want to say something, or if you want to comment, then definitely give us a call. Let's talk about interest. Let's take a few minutes to talk about interest. And let me, as they say, let me put you all up on something with interest. Now, with interest, the way interest works is whatever you purchase, the majority of the things that you purchase in life, whether it be a car, a house, something that you buy on credit cards. I mean, even those cigars that you buy and you use your credit card, most times you buy that on interest, because if you don't pay it off, you don't pay the full balance off at the end of the month, you're going to be paying interest on cigars. So whatever you're paying interest on, what happens is this. Sometimes people get caught up on the annual interest rate, or what they call the APR, the annual percentage rate, right? But that's annually. That's for the year. So it might be 29%. It might be 20%. Might be 18%. Whatever it is, people tend to look at it like over the year. But here's the thing that I would challenge you to do. Have you ever thought about this? And this is something that I did recently as well. So this is my homework for you all, or my challenge. Out of all the things that you owe, house, car, credit cards, and I want you don't have to call in and tell me, but wherever you are right now within the sound of my voice, I want you to think about this. All of the things that you owe, student loans, personal loans, loans to other people, check cash in place, whatever you owe to somebody and it's interest tied to it. I want you to think about this. Do you know right now, like if I said to you right now, John Doe, Jane Doe, can you call into the Daily Bread Radio Show and run down what your interest rate is on everything that you're paying on? That would be a challenge for most people. And I would venture to say it'd probably be a challenge for 95% of the people in my listening audience, because it's something that we don't have it in our radar or in our focus on a day-to-day basis, because we're thinking annually, and I'm paying my note, and my note has interest in it. But here's the thing. When you pay interest annually, you do realize that every day you're paying a certain percent of interest on a daily basis. So that means when you're going out to them, ball games, when you going to church, when you going celebrating birthdays, every day that you're working, every day that you're walking, every day that you coming home from work, cooking, every day that you don't go ahead and eliminate that debt, every day that you're living, you're paying interest to someone. So the way the interest game goes is this. There's only two positions to be in interest. You're either receiving interest every day, meaning you have an asset like a stock, a bond, or something else that's paying you interest, right? Some type of asset that's paying you interest, right? Or you're paying interest, meaning you're paying someone else interest and you're helping to create their cash flow. So Bank of America, Wells Fargo, GMC, GM, whomever you paying interest to, you're adding to their bottom line. So you're not adding to your bottom, you're taking away from your bottom line and you're adding to their bottom line. But that's something I want to put out to you. Go back, your homework today is list out everything that you owe, house, car, credit cards. And what I want you to do is just write down next to it how much interest that you owe on it. Now let's take it a step further. Once you've done that, you've written down everything and you've written down what your interest is on each one of those topics. Here's how to take it a step further. Some people feel like, you know what, I need to be contributing to my 401k, or I need to be putting money over here, I need to be saving, because I'll get a bigger interest rate. But here's the thing about interest. If you're paying 20% interest on a debt, if you paid that debt off, you're going to be making 20% interest. So I'm going to let that marinate with you for just a few seconds, because we ain't got a lot of time on our show. It's just an hour show. But just think about that. If you have an outstanding debt where you're paying 20% interest, might be a credit card, could be a student loan, could be something else, I don't know, could be anything. But whatever that interest amount is that you're paying annually and on a daily basis, if you got really, really serious and you eliminated that debt and didn't reoccur it, meaning you didn't create it again, that 20% that you're paying on that credit card, that would be coming to you, because you wouldn't be paying it now. You could take that money and then buy assets. You wouldn't be dealing with liabilities. You'll be buying assets. So I'm encouraging you to do what? You might need to bring your savings amount down and pay off that debt. Get a little bit more liquid, because you might want to be like LeBron James and go out and get a D Wade, but you're going to need to have some liquid and you're going to need to have some reserves in order for you to do that. So that's just my little spiel on interest. Like I said, I would challenge you to go write out everything what you owe and look at ways for you to eliminate that. And those are things that we've been talking about on Daily Bread Radio Show this year, is eliminating debts and just getting in a better, financial position. So that way you in a posture where you ready to, like, hey, I'm ready to go. Let's get down. So that's interest. The last topic that I want to talk about, but before I get to the last topic, got to do the book of the week, right? Got to do the book of the week, because the reason I have to do the book of the week every week, and some weeks I do 2 books of the week, is because I truly believe that our freedom, me and yours, is tied in a book. And I know it's tied into one book specifically, and that's why I've been sharing that with you all, which is what? The Bible. you know it's tied to the Bible. But in addition to the Bible, I believe that our freedom and the things that we can do, those strategies, the things that we need to learn, because like Benjamin Franklin said, and I've shared this quote with you all many a times, Benjamin Franklin said, no man will live long enough to learn everything that he needs to know in order to be successful. Meaning what? If you live 75 years, you're not going to have enough time in 75 years to learn everything that you need to know to be successful. So what do you have to do? You got to pick up a book. Uh-oh, that's Papa. Duval County, I see you checking in, Frank. I got you. 10-4, over and out. Roger. You have to pick up a book, and you got to read the book. And sometimes you don't have to read a book cover to cover, but you may need to just pull out some of those jewels and nuggets. And then don't just read the book, put it to action. Put it in action. That's why every week when I come on here, I bring you a book. Last week was The Slave Community by John Blassingame. If you pick up that book, then you'll understand what I mean when I say Sambo. I'm Sambo. I'm cool with being a Sambo. Because using that term, I know what it means now because I've done the research. So it's not something negative. So I'm cool with being Sambo. So now I'm Sambo. And my producer definitely is Sambo. Mm-hmm. I would. He got that look. Before I even read about it, I was like saying to myself in my mind, like, that joker look like. I was like, that joker look like a Sambo. But I ain't gonna mess with him. I ain't gonna mess with him and call him no Sambo. But while I see you checking in, man. Peace out to you and the missus on your show, Love and Relationships. I love it, man. Let's stay connected, man. Let's do this thing. Let's do it big. But you gotta have a book, because if you ain't dealing with books, you're not dealing. You fill in the blank. If you're not dealing with books, you're not on it. I promise you, you're not on it. So one of the things that, let me see, Michael is saying, I borrowed money from only myself and paid myself 20 plus years. Bingo. Michael, you need to call into the show. Don't keep posting stuff in there. Call into the show, man. This ain't like comedy. I ain't gonna get on you. I ain't gonna say nothing. Call in and share your testimony, bro. This is about sharing, right? We got a platform here. We have social media. We have a way that we can disseminate information. Call in like, I've been trying to work on getting Jay-Z to come and let me do an interview with Jay-Z. He won't come. So if you got the information, Mike, call in, share it with everybody. So then that way, when people listen to the show, or they go back and they say, you know what? I heard a brother been paying himself for 20 plus years. I'm gonna do the same thing. Because sometimes people don't believe it's possible until they hear another person that speaks on it and say, hey, this is what I did. So definitely if you want to, share with us, man. And Skilly, now you way overdue, man. I don't think you never call into my show. And you my friends. I don't even know if I'm reaching anybody. Anybody calling in? You know what? Show over, man. I'm done with it. I could never do that, man. I could never. It ain't even in my sport. That ain't even in my makeup. Oh, no. But today's book, and again, I'm going to apologize because this book is this is an old book. So I'm going to just show it to you. I'm going to be transparent. This is an old book. This book is about 21 years old. And the deep thing about books, the information in the book is timeless. Somebody takes the time out and write a book, it's timeless. The title of this book is called Smart Money Moves for African Americans. Put that in the chat, because I want to make sure our listeners got that. Smart Money Moves. Smart money. Man, call in. We ain't scared up here. Scared, what did you say? Okay. Smart Money Moves for African Americans. And the author of the book is Kelvin E. Boston. Go out to Amazon and pick up a copy of this book. Because everybody, Wanda Tucker, we see you. Appreciate you. Appreciate you. Shout out to Kurt Tucker. Your husband, I know he got a birthday coming up, so I appreciate the support. Smart Money Moves for African Americans, Kelvin E. Boston. This book, this is one that you need, every African American needs to have this in their library, because this brother wrote an entire book about African Americans and personal finance. This is a deep book. Now, my wife gave me this book back in 1996, so I know she's gonna be upset, but I'm gonna put on this book. All kinds of stuff been spilled on it. It's been, hey, but it still works. The stuff in here works. So let me just share some of this. With the funny thing is about life, when you start working on goals. This is what my wife wrote to me. She's like, to Joaquin, may this book assist you in your journey. Your ambition and desires you have are the chief factors in aiding you to become a millionaire before 30. So that was my goal back in '96, but I'm cracking 50. So time, don't worry about time. Just be working on it. So my wife, she wrote that to me back in '96. And it says, may you soon have financial freedom to be able to run your own successful businesses, which we've done, to be able to send our children to college 3 times, right? we got 3 of them out, right? And this was when they was babies. 1996, my youngest daughter was 2. So just give y'all a look. And she just graduated from Howard. Kudos. Send our children to college and invest and retire comfortably. So that's what we're working on now, retiring comfortably. So Smart Money Moves for African Americans. I want to share just one excerpt from this book. And the topic is Smart Money Moves to Obtain the American Dream. Number 1. And what have we been talking about the last few weeks? Planning. What's the number 1 thing he says here? Create a wealth building plan. That's number 1. Number 2, invest in your dreams every payday. He's talking about taking that money that you get from payroll, like Mike was talking about. And I know Kurt is on here, Wanda, my family, all of Kevin, everybody understands this who's doing business. Invest in your dreams every payday. So when you get that money on payday, don't just pay out bills. Use some of that money for seed capital. Number 3, own your own home. Number 4, invest in the stock market. Number 5, insure your dreams. Insure your dreams. That means bet on you. That's what we was talking about last week. You shouldn't spend no more money on cars and clothes and jewels and all this other stuff, and you won't invest in you. You won't go to that conference, it's like $3,000, so you can find a new technique where you will be the best such and such in your whole area. You're going to get that $3,000 back in no time. That's number 5. Number 6, own a business. Listen to this. Number 6, own a business. Own some type of business. Mary Kay, prepaid legal, network marketing, fish, barbecue, landscaping, bakery. Own a business. Own a business. Own a business. I can't get past number 6. Own a business. That's number 6. And number 7, maximize your human resources. That means the network. And get with other people, like-minded people, like the Daily Bread Radio Show. And don't try to do it by yourself. You know, get you a team so you can bounce things off of them, and they can tell you about things that you need to do. Hey, instead of doing it this way, do it that way. Like, oh, okay. LeBron James, look, I keep going back to LeBron. LeBron James is like, we got a bunch of people, we need one more. We need one more. We need one more joker. It's like adding some seasoning to a recipe. You ever cook some food and you know it's the bomb. You know it, but just when you tasting it, you're like, man, something missing. Like something I need. But once you put that one, boom, it just set it off. Now it's the bomb. So you got to take time, pick up this book, Kelvin Boston, Smart Money Moves for African Americans. Smart Money Moves for African Americans. This book is full of information that will bless your life, and it will give you some insight into stuff to make you say, God, dog, we in some tough times, and it's relevant. This book was written back in 1995, but it is as relevant today as it was back in 1995. So, with that being said, I think we covered a lot in this show. We got some people on? Okay. We got somebody calling in. This is Joaquin with the Daily Bread Radio Show. What's your name and where you calling from?
Anthony Jackson. Duval is in the house.
I done Duval. Hey, man. Hey.
Yes, sir.
Hey.
Yes, sir.
This is a gospel show. This is gospel. You got your collar on? You got your minister collar on?
No.
Oh, man.
No, I don't have a collar on.
So I just need to know.
No, not that.
All right, I need to know who I'm speaking to. Is this Reverend? Is this Reverend Jackson? Is this Deacon? Or is this Skillet? Is this Skillet? I just need to know who I'm talking to.
What's going on?
What's going on, man? What's on your mind? What's on your mind?
Hey, I just calling you to let you know, hey, I know I've been out of the scene for a while, but hey, man.
For a while? Listen, man, listen. You ain't no friend of mine. You supposed to be calling in this show every week checking on me, man. These people out here, they ain't calling me. I don't know what's going on. I don't even know if I'm supposed to be doing it all. You gotta respond. Give me some thumbs up or something.
You know how about people run. They high and low. People kind of slowing down a little bit. You know, I'm very busy back here in Duval.
Hey, man, y'all, man, these ministers are always busy, man. Y'all, boy, I tell you, that's a good thing, though. That's a good thing. Y'all keep it up, man. That's what y'all.
Got to. Hey, but hey, man, I just want to call and let you know, man. Hey, very positive word on tonight.
Hey, man.
Keep it up. Keep on driving forward, looking forward, and it's a lot of knowledge that we need to have because in years times past we haven't had this knowledge.
Man.
And it's very important that brothers step up to the plate, man, and take this thing and run with it.
Hey, man.
You know, that's the only way we're gonna be able to stay on top of the game.
Hey, man, I appreciate that. You know that means a lot coming from you, bro, because you one of my, not only you my spiritual mentor, but you were the one, and not to put you on the spot, but I don't have a problem being transparent, but you were the one that helped me break through the barrier when I was on the show and you heard me say that I'm not a minister. You were the one that called me on Saturday morning and say, look, man, I don't ever want to hear you say that no more. And you broke down the difference between being a pastor, being a minister, and being a reverend. So kudos to you. That's right, the 2-3. You know, this the this the 2-3. This is my 23rd show. We're going to have a celebration at 25. We'll have a camel break a cake in here when I do my 25th show. But I thank you, man, because it's people like you that keep me going, that kept me going. And once I've got that fire in my belly, it's over, man. You cancel. It's done.
One thing I want to let you know, King, as much as I've been an encouragement to you, I want to let you know that you've been a great encouragement to myself
That's what's up.
as well. Because the knowledge that you are pouring out to us all, I'm able to go back and pour that to my people.
Man.
And it's just a domino effect.
Right.
And that's what it's all about. One tells somebody else, and then the next person go on and tell the next person.
Right.
It goes from generation to generation. And that's what it's all about. We're living in a day and time now. This is the generation to step up, pick up the torch, and run with it.
Oh, my gosh.
And that's where we are. That's who we are right now.
Hey, that's what's up, man. That's what's up. Hey,
Yeah.
you said a mouthful, brother. I appreciate you, man. I don't have nothing but love for Skillet and Reverend Jackson, both of y'all. And I still say you don't look a day. Look, man, you don't look a day over 50.
Hey, the God, I give him all the glory. Hey, you know my history.
That's what's up, man. Hey, man, you have a beautiful evening, brother.
Okay, man, be blessed.
Hey.
I'll talk to you later.
Oh, for sure, man, for sure. But
Okay. All right.
thank you, brother.
Bye-bye.
But yeah, man, I just it's stuff like that, people like that in all of our lives, man, just keep me going. And I know I like to joke a lot. Somebody calling in? Oh, somebody hanging up. Okay, but I like to joke a lot. And on the way to the show, I was thinking about this, and the one thing I'm gonna leave you all with is this thought: no matter what's going on in your life, and this is research. This is not me. So like I always say, go do your research. Research, look, I had to get the word out. Research shows that the more you laugh, the better your health is, the better your mental health is, and it always will keep you uplifted. no matter what's going on, if something come down and just tear you to pieces, if you can laugh about it, half the battle is, more than half the battle is done. Just laugh about it. So that's why I purposely make fun of myself. I make fun. I have a good time when I come on my show, because I don't call into the show. Don't log into Facebook. Don't look for me to be down, because I'm not gonna be being down and you calling, oh yeah, man, we show this hurt, we show hurtings over here. Nah, bro, that's gone. We on the up rise. We rising up, bro. Not no Falcons rising up. I'm talking about our people. We disseminating information. We giving out some good stuff. We here to come out with some good products, so that way we can scale this thing. And the only thing that I'm gonna ask you all to do, make sure that you tell people about the show. Share the show with people. Just share the information with them. Because just like, Lonita called in. She called and she didn't even know about the show. A friend of mine told her about the show, then she called in and provided her testimony. So, I mean, just, because it's all about us and what we do. So I want to thank you all for tuning in this week. Next week, we've got a very powerful show. I've been reaching out. If anybody knows Butch Shelley Anthony III, he's the owner of This Is It. I'm trying to reach out to him and get him to come on the show. He just wrote a very powerful book, and I want to get him to come on the show so that way he can talk about his book, talk about his journey, and make sure that we keep disseminating that information. So I'm gonna see if I can get him on the show. Some other people reaching out to Master P. I really want to get Master P on the show. Master P is deep. I think a lot of people underestimate Master P, who he is, what he's done. But if you go back and do your research and look at the business models that this man has created and what he's about, I would be honored to have him on the show. So I'm gonna reach out to him, see if I can get Master P to at least call in. I know he's busy, but that's the kind of dream big dreams. Don't dream them little dreams. I mean, you can always get Sambo. You can always. You done turn on. You done turn. Hey man, why you turn over? Why you turn over? Hello. Hello. Hey. Hey. Hey man, hold on. Wait a minute, man. Time out. Time out. Time out, man. Time out. Time out. Time out, man. Hey man. What? I gotta leave y'all. I'm gonna leave. I gotta leave one more. Why when something is broke? Why when something broke, we go to shaking? You don't know the car don't start even, and you don't know nothing about no car that you do. You go in that shaking battery. Try it now. Refrigerator don't work. Try it now. But no, we love you all. Hey, we had a ball tonight. Remember, make sure you go back and check out that LeBron James trade. Make sure you start planning and taking action on them dreams for 2018. Make sure you do that. Number 3, interest. Go through, look at everything that you owe. Find out what the interest is and write it down and work on a plan to eliminate that interest so you're not paying it, but you're making it. You're making interest. You're not paying interest, you're making it. And the last topic we really didn't get to, which is the cost of capital. I'll save that one for next week. And go out, go to Amazon, pick up Smart Money Moves by African Americans from Kelvin Boston. This brother wrote an awesome book specifically for African Americans. Y'all be blessed. Hey, we had a ball tonight, and tell somebody about the show, because we on 23. We creeping up on 25. We got 2 more shows, and we're gonna be celebrating 25. So let a friend, a family member know, or your pastor, or your minister. Have them call in. We love to talk to people, love to call, and that's going to be our That's how we're going to really get it to disseminate, is when we start getting out into different churches and congregations and letting them know what we're doing over here. So I love y'all. Y'all have a beautiful evening. You can hit it now, man. Hit it.
And let's have a mic up, man.
Hey, y'all have a good one. Man, you crazy. Look.
Can you reach it? Can you reach it? Reach it, man.
Oh, it's on?
No.
Oh, it's still on? Hey, man, turn it on, man.
Do the dance, man. Do the dance, man.